Changes, so many changes to Formula One going into 2022. Not just the aerodynamic regulations, but now changes, of course, to the safety car regulations. We'll be talking about all of that. There's no bad blood between Otmar Szafnauer and Aston Martin, at least according to the constructor. And George Russell reveals how much driver input there has been in the FIA's discussions and changes this winter. Those are the headlines. We'll dive into them in just a moment, but for the meantime, just remember to hit the subscribe button down below to stay up to date with all of the news and content we produce here at the channel. But now let's look at the F1 headlines this Monday. The FIA must apparently do more to compensate for Formula One drivers exploiting the rulebook. As director of the Prix Drivers Association, George Russell spoke about the changes made to the sport by the governing body in the aftermath of last year's Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Yes, on the weekend before the first testing session of Formula One's new era, it's still last year's finale that dominates the headlines, as Lewis Hamilton's new teammate at Mercedes discussed how much input the GP Drivers Association had in talks and changes made to the sport this winter. The FIA has removed 2021 race director Michael Massey from his position and created a new structure to the role to support Niels Wittich and Eduardo Freitas in their dual handling of the position. That support includes a new VAR-style virtual race control centre on racing weekends. When asked if the GPDA had any input in talks over the winter, Russell replied, "Yeah, as the GPDA, we did speak to the FIA and they were incredibly proactive straight away after Abu Dhabi to find better solutions. The VAR solution is great, and it makes total sense to have further assistance, people analysing live and more input to get a quicker view and decision to be made. Time's progressed, things move on. The way that drivers are exploiting the rulebook is understandable, and the FIA need to do more to compensate for that, because every team, every driver is always going to look for a way to get the upper hand. I think it will take some time to really refine, but I do think it's a step in the right direction. But it's never enough. It's always going to need more. With the VAR, the more things we do virtually can only be beneficial." And staying with the decisions made in Abu Dhabi last season, the FIA has updated its safety car regulations for 2022 to allow for faster restarts. A number of revisions to the safety car procedure have been confirmed ahead of this week's pre-season testing, including a change to Article 55.13 that used to detail that a race could only resume at the end of the lap following the one on which the last lapped car has passed the leader. The change allows now for a faster restart to racing, with the same message of lapped cars may now overtake being sent to teams, but the safety car will now be recalled to the pits at the end of the following lap, regardless of whether all lap traffic has cleared the leaders. The track must have been declared safe by the clerk of the course in order for the message to unlap to be sent to the teams. The rules around a race finishing behind the safety car remain unchanged, with Article 55.16 still stating, if the safety car is deployed at the beginning of the last lap or is deployed during the last lap, it will enter the pit lane at the end of the lap and the cars will take the end of the race signal as normal without overtaking. And finally, Aston Martin have paid tribute to the great guy that is Otmar Szafnauer after their former team principal made the switch from Aston Martin to Alpine this winter. For 12 years, Otmar worked with the team formerly known as Force India and Racing Point before finally coming under the Aston Martin banner last season, and their chief technical officer now, Andrew Green, still had some kind words for the former team principal after his departure. Otmar is a great guy and he did a huge amount for the team for a long time, especially when things were tough, and he really did help, said Green at the launch of the AMR 22. He should be absolutely credited with helping the team out in those times. I really wish him well in the future for whatever he does. So it's all fairly calm on the surface between Otmar Szafnauer and Aston Martin, but will that change as Aston Martin and Alpine go head to head, perhaps in the middle of the pack or further up the grid as the 2022 season kicks off? And what do you make of the changes to the regulations around the safety car and the input that the drivers have had in those changes since Abu Dhabi? And when are we going to be able to drop what happened in Abu Dhabi last season. Let us know in the comments section below. As always, hit the subscribe button to stay up to date with everything we do here at the channel. And of course, get onto gpfans.com as well for the latest breaking Formula 1 news.